It's my turn. I want to thank you guys for being here. I appreciate your willingness to serve the nation, and I appreciate you being able to appear before this committee today. Look, I have made my position on nominees clear as it applies to the Amtrak board. I was one of 10 people, 5 Republicans and 5 Democrats, that negotiated the bipartisan infrastructure law. It did not happen by accident. We intentionally put language in that would have the Amtrak board members reflect our nation's geography with specific requirements on how many members could come from Northeast quarter states relative to the other parts of the country. The administration put forward a list of very good nominees, incredibly good nominees, but they did not comply with the geographic requirements. I made my concerns known when some of these folks appeared before committee, some of you guys. The president then renominated the same slate in the new Congress, despite the issues, which I believe are serious, that I raised. And I am frustrated the administration did not make the adjustments that the law requires, and they could have. As I announced in April, the slate of Amtrak board nominees must comply with the law before I'm going to vote to support any of them. And as I said earlier, that doesn't mean that I think they're unqualified. It means that I think the president needs to follow the law. There's still work to be done to get resolution on this, but I'm confident the administration will do what it needs to do that based on the progress so far. I think this hearing is a good thing to have. And I want to start with you, Chairman Kosha. Good to see you again. It's good to see you in person. In fact, over the Zoom is good, but this is much better.
Agreed.
At the hearing last year, I asked you and some of the other nominees if you had ever been to Montana. You had indicated that you hadn't. In a follow-up conversation, I believe you committed to riding the Empire Builder, which is the long-distance train that goes through our great state. I understand you made that trip recently. Is that correct?
That is correct, Senator.
I appreciate you doing that. I think there's no better way to understand a long-distance passenger rail than to ride that train yourself. Now, I understand that you're going to meet a member of my staff in a great little town called Havre, Montana, which is only 50 miles from my farm. But that meeting didn't work out. I am told that was because the train was running 4.5 hours late. Is that correct?
I think it was 2.5 hours late, but nonetheless, it definitely was.
Two and a half is better than 4, but it's still unacceptable.
That's correct.
I wished I could say that I was surprised, but the truth is those kind of delays are way too common in long-distance routes. And I will tell you that I want our rail system to work. I want it to be good. I want it to be the best in the world, okay? Never going to happen as long as that's. In fact, I got to thinking what would the passenger ridership be on the Acela from New York to Washington, D.C. if it was 2.5 hours late? There wouldn't be many folks on that. And so the question I have is, what is Amtrak doing to improve performance, to make sure that we have a reliable service table?
Senator, thank you for that question, and I just want to quickly say a couple of things. One is that my trip on the Empire Builder was not only something that was overdue, but the reality is that it is what I and other members of the board should do. I've ridden many of our long distance trains. It took me too long to ride that particular train for a variety of reasons, but it is clear to me how vital that service is to so many people and so many different levels. What I learned on the trip is sort of an immeasurable, kind of experience that I completely understand why it's so important to so many people, which gets to the point of being able to provide safe, reliable service that people can count on. The reason the train was delayed, and I unfortunately could not meet with your staff members, is that there was actually an accident with a freight train ahead of us. And, because I'm the chairman of Amtrak, I heard from pretty much everyone at the host railroad, frankly, apologizing for the delay. Yeah. And my response to that was, I'm actually not a paying customer. There are paying customers on there. That's who we all should really be apologizing to. And the solution to the issue is in large part on creating the right framework where host railroads are in fact providing those preference rights. There are things that are going to happen to both Amtrak and the hosts that are beyond our control.
Right.
In fact, that instance was one of them. But there are many things that we can control, and there are many ways for us to work better together, and we've done this. And with some of the hosts, we've actually made market improvements on it. But to respond to your question, it is both enhancing our own operating performance and enhancing our relationship with the host railroads that I think will bring us more reliable service and more frequencies that will allow people to get more from the railroad usage.
Thank you. I'm out of time, but I just have to ask this one question. Since I got the gavel, I will. Mr. Brown, you're not on the NTSB now currently, are you?
Repeat that question again?
You're not on the NTSB currently?
No, sir.
Okay, so we had a train accident out of Joplin, Montana, coming on 2 years. We still don't have NTSB's report on that. I've just got to tell you, if you get confirmed, I hope you crack the whip and get some folks to get a little more timely. This is nothing short of unacceptable, okay? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next up, we've got Senator Moran.
Mr. Chairman,